Hello friends and welcome back to Salt Lake City Part 2. The finals were very late here in Germany, 1 a.m. Monday in the morning, but I stayed up to watch Max Milne and Galla compete in the first senior final. I've seen Max in ARCO 2019 and he was such a cool climber, really explosive and really confident as well. They climbed superbly in the semifinals. Adam Ondra unfortunately is injured, was missing out, but Tomoa is back. Tomoa is my favorite climber for the male category, so I was hyped, I was psyched, and it was late, and I went to bed at 2:30 or maybe 2 in the morning around boulder number 2 or 3. And let's go into this, why it happened. Sean Bailey, Max Milne, Tomoa, Zach, Yoshiyuki and Kokoro again. Let's get into it. The first senior final for Zach Galla and Maximilian Milne, Max the Future. Well known to finals are Kokoro Fujii, Yoshiyuki Ogata, Sean Bailey and Tomoa Narasaki, the big favorite in my opinion. But Sean Bailey already took the silver medal back in Vail 2018 or 19 if I'm not mistaken. Let's check out boulder number 1. Max in his first senior World Cup bouldering final, swinging instantly onto his right foot and launching into this 1-2-3 pedal movement with the goal to stop his momentum with a foot plant. A really cool move to get the show started. This was his best try. He looked like he could establish control on the middle hold and pull on, but he arrived too low on the third one. Max stepped just once with his right foot. Kokoro stepped lower with his right foot first and crossed through with his left and launched. Again, let's take a look at how they start. Max right foot is the green dot, and then he instantly jumped higher while Kokoro stepped with his right foot lower, then the left foot higher and launched from there. So it's not about getting the height, that's not the main problem. It's more about the right amount of speed, timing, precision and how to get the holds and the momentum. Even with the right momentum, Kokoro still slipped off the holds. But you can already see that his body is further behind to the left than Max's body in the jumping sequence. It's further left than the hold, and he tries to slow down the momentum with his feet and with grabbing the hold. Or at least trying to hold on to it. Then he did it. He slowed down on the first hold, kept his hip left and stops almost on the second one, using the leftover momentum to reach the third volume and plant his foot. Let's check out the differences between Kokoro and Max. Max seems to be a little bit more explosive, but when they both arrive at the volume, Kokoro has a higher and better grip with his left hand. His feet are both pointing to the right, prepared to smear and slow the lower body movement down. Kokoro keeps his left hand as long as possible in the gripping position to slow down, and when he matches volume number 2, he stopped the whole momentum. Feet dragging and smearing opposing the movement all the time. Max has too much speed, left the first volume already, has a stable grip on the second volume, but his lower body is swinging wildly to the right because he wants to carry the momentum forward. Unfortunately for him, he just swings rightwards but cannot pull much higher to reach hold number 3 in a good spot and kick with his foot. This sequence shows really well how Kokoro is able to keep his upper body to the left and is stopping the momentum with his feet, dragging and smearing and slowing everything further down. He's also quite high, his arms are bent, focused on the next hold. Max traveled too far with his lower body, already crossed the line and he's too low to reach higher. Yoshiyuki has similar problems as Max, overpacing, overshooting or losing the stable grip with his left hand. In his best attempt, maybe he could have stopped, but either he didn't feel the position or he was too focused on doing the 1-2-3 movement. He continued until a few seconds remained and tried it again and again and again. And even though he came really close, he was not able to stick the move, really close, not getting the zone for boulder 1. Zach Galla, the man with the impeccable biceps, pulled fast and hard, didn't help either to get any higher. So no top for him either and no zone. Coming up, Sean Bailey, who I didn't imagine being good at things like this, but boy was I wrong. Initiating the move similar to Max, he came really close after almost 2 minutes. Look how he can keep his hip to the left, feet facing right already. He still tried to do the 1-2-3 pedal. Then, with 50 seconds left on the clock, take a look at his hip. Surprisingly, he stuck it on volume number 2. It looked like he wanted to go in one go to the third volume, but then surprisingly stuck the second one and almost swung back, but then easy peasy to the zone and easy to the top as well. Now we'll compare Sean with Sean. The sand is on the right side. Minimizing the momentum and swing with pulling onto the volume like crazy. You can see how close his head and his shoulders are, and his elbows are really bent. Also, he has a very good gripping position with his higher left hand. On the left side, he's already moving across and his leg moves further right as well. This pulls him away from the stable second handhold and he falls down. But he learns quite quick, which is very good. Only one more starter to come. My favorite for moves like this, Tomoa Narasaki. First try going straight to volume 3, maybe just guessing how much distance and speed he needs. Tomoa, the quickest climber, continues to pull and kick too hard. While Max and Sean were swinging their feet forth and back to generate momentum, Tomoa just uses one quick kick and pull to generate way more speed than the others even can. His mistakes are chest parallel to the wall, feet wide open, sliding parallel, not trying to slow down the momentum, not keeping the left hand in position as long as possible. And Tomoa he didn't make it. He didn't learn quick enough, didn't change his method, wasn't flexible enough in his mind, in my opinion. Was it a good boulder? No. Maybe one good move, which was in the end really difficult, but I was already bored. It's always a difficult thing to find the right balance between setting a workable move, but still manageable and entertaining. Of course, super cool that Kokoro and Sean sent it, but that's exactly what we don't want. Seeing 100 repetitions of one move of 4 climbers and nothing changes or happens at all. We also didn't have any separation after the zone hold either. I don't like one move wonders that much honestly, but we're in for a real treat with boulder number 2. It started with a not forced toe hook traverse just to reach in this time quite easy zone, get down, bunch down and explode and launch to a stack of chips. When I really hate something, it's mixing lots of different hold companies because it just looks like crap and then mixed together with a really crappy traverse. Voila! After the traverse, this dyno, cool move maybe itself, and then a mantle with more different chips. Also black holes on black volumes. Way to go to make climbing appealing and look great. Let's concentrate and talk about the important thing, the boulder. Max released the toe hook maybe too quick on his first try, but afterwards he always found the solution to establish himself for the crux move, the jump to the crimp. The camera angles didn't help me really to see what's going on, but that's no excuse for Max. He unfortunately just didn't hit it right or couldn't hold on to this really mean crimp. I know climbing doesn't have to be beautiful, but please. You could have just skipped the whole traverse and started right there and it still would have been a really, really hard move. Not good, but hard. Incoming Kokoro. You see, he didn't need the toe hook at all. And is it just because he's taller? No. Sean, who's the smallest, shortest finalist, also didn't need it. So that's just lazy tweaking or whatever. Back to this sick jump. Kokoro was almost able to stick it. Almost. Close and closer, but no sand for Kokoro. Yoshiyuki also really close and close again, but also no sand for Yoshiyuki. Coming in Galla, also very, very close, but still no sand. They looked desperate, but it looked also pretty hard. Coming in Sean Bailey, he looked a lot at his fingertips. Almost able to stick it, almost, but then he turned into a Mr. Slip-A-Lot and was not able to try the move again. I tried to keep it entertaining and informative, but I was really bored. I'm still bored watching it again and again. Coming in, Tomoa, who looked for another jump position, tried to palm down. Also for the jump, my guess for palming down is it pushes you up, but also a little bit away from the wall, while you want to hang underneath more than out away from the wall. It looked promising to get higher, but also not able to stick the move. So no one stuck the move in boulder number 2 at all. Not much changed after boulder number 2. 2 boulders, basically 1 move problems, 1 sideways dyno, 1 going straight up. So it's 2:30 in the morning in Germany when I was watching this, and I was ready to give it just one more go, one more chance with boulder number 3, which was another traverse. I switched my iPad off and went to bed. But here I am now, and if you still watch this, let's take a look at this traverse. And thank you that you still watched this, because it's incredibly boring. Another traverse. They blocked the beautiful new sick dual text scrutcher hold to make the hand swap in the beginning more difficult, but in the end you still had to match hands. Weird move. Then a jib on the foothold to make it accessible. Traverse further right into the crux. You were able though to claim another quite easy zone, and then, for the most of us, it was goodbye. This is the foothold they had to mantle onto, and I asked myself, why are there no paint marks around the hole to show off the position of the jib? At first I thought maybe they put the volume with the jib together onto the wall, but usually you mark every hold of a final. And then I heard the rumor by a good friend, apparently they lost the hold which was supposed to be on this volume. They put the hold on another volume or on the backside of the volume so it doesn't get lost, and then they lost the hold when they put the boulder back together. And I guess this is the hold they lost, the guys were talking about, because there is no hold mark to show off where this is supposed to be on the volume. Maybe it used to be a better hold, maybe not. Maybe this changed the whole boulder. I don't really think so, honestly. I think the boulder was like this before, similar at least, a pressy, really complex mantle at this point. Yoshiyuki was able to lift his right foot onto the jib, but then he slipped. Sean was able to put weight on his foot, and then he either slipped or couldn't launch out of this position. Really hard to tell. Sean looked the best so far, so let's try to analyze why he was able to put up his right foot so easily. The graphics make me really angry here, but I'll just draw some circles around it and we go. Circle 1 on the left, Yoshiyuki. His left foot is smearing on the yellow slopey part of the hold, his knee pointing straight forward into the wall. Sean is standing on the jib. His knee is slightly facing right, which opens his hip to the right. He can even bend his knee and is in a softer, more flexible position to go for the foothold. Being even smaller than Yoshiyuki, he also shows off an impeccable hip flexibility. In his most promising attempt, he stepped higher with his left foot. Easier to launch if you stand higher, but also facing right with his knee. The zone helped him to switch the left hand into a palm and to start pushing. Maybe he should have tried to continue pushing, or maybe he should have pushed with his left hand a little bit lower on the volume but sticking further out, or maybe it was just due to the foothold. We'll never know. Tomoa, on the other hand, didn't even get his right foot higher. A clear win for Sean Bailey on boulder number 3. Didn't bring him anything, more points, less points, but yeah, clear win for Sean Bailey on boulder number 3, in my opinion. Still a really exciting ranking, and we will continue with boulder number 4. Boulder number 4 was better, believe me. It started with a brutal shoulder press mantle thingy to a side undercling. Max was not able to send it, unfortunately. You can take a look at his right hand. He's going a little bit lower now with his right hand, but out of this position, from this position, it's really hard to reach the next hold. He starts again really high, but then he is moving lower with his right hand. Now at least he's moving into the palming down position, but was not able to send it. Kokoro readjusted his hand position really quick into a palm and was able to get to the undercling. Now highway to the danger zone. A pogo kick onto a volume using the momentum to stand up, push with your right hand at the same time and go all out into the last hold. Some viewers complained this move was dangerous, and it looked like it. Problem was that they arrived, or at least Kokoro here, that he arrived so sideways at the top, sometimes he smashed into the mats, at least shoulder first and not head first, but that was really not nice to watch. Yoshiyuki planted his foot on the volume beforehand and was able to stand up. You see, as soon as you cross the line, the momentum carries you into the danger zone to the right side. And bam, another one bites the dust. And also Yoshiyuki was not able to stick the move. Looking at the boulder now, I would have tried to lower the crazy upper part or move the finished jug to the left side. So you jump into a stable position, pushing down with your right hand. Not only move it to the left side, also rotate it facing outwards to the left. You know what I mean? A combination of this would have probably made it safer. No injuries on the jump to my knowledge. On the other hand, the setting team assumed it to be a safe move. Didn't look cool to fall down onto your shoulder, but maybe that's what it takes to become a World Cup winner? Galla injured his biceps or arm somehow on the start. That's a shame. I hope to see more of him, in the future. He climbed really well in the semis. But back to the show. Sean only needed one zone to win the final. He immediately switched his right hand position, went into the undercling, to the zone, and almost got the flash of boulder number 4. Now we got some time to compare the first move. As mentioned, Sean is the smallest finalist, and side by side shows that it's all about the position. Sean's right hand is way higher. I used the start tape as an orientation point for the line, and that's just enough to get the crimp and start pulling your body higher. Max's shoulder is too low, almost the same height as his feet. His hip is so far left, it's really difficult to get out of this position he's stuck in right now. With more than 2 minutes left, Sean launched one more time and stuck the last move. Congrats, Sean Bailey, on your first Boulder World Cup win after a silver medal in Wales 2018, and congrats for your long-awaited win in front of your home crowd. That must have been amazing. What Tomoa did here was not really important, but he casually flashed this boulder number 4. Take a look at his explosive style. Step, bump, top hold, first go. Nothing more to say. Boah, that's crazy. So, really explosive, nothing more to say, but let's take one more look at the last move. Kokoro, who almost did it, you remember how he smashed sideways into the mats, and Sean Bailey on the right side. Kokoro steps too high with his left foot. It pushes him more sideways than higher. Look at his axis and the way his body is tilted when he reaches the last hold. Already on the way to smash into the mats. Sean is able to push mainly upwards in one line and minimize the swing to the right. And one more time Tomoa. It's so crazy to see how he jumps onto the volume and then takes a millisecond break, and then after this break straight upwards. This is fantastic execution of a really complex move. But the win belongs to Sean Bailey because he mastered not only the straight up dyno but also the sideways one. Beating Tomoa in a coordination move is really hard. Okay, what happened here? Boulder number 2. Skip the torque start, make the target hold slightly better and maybe another color so we can see it actually, and make the mental hard. We needed a slow, difficult upper section and not a low traverse from the right to the left, which was just slippery slope and which I didn't like. Boulder 3. Open the zone probably a little bit clockwise, rotate the hold so it's a little bit easier to push and to use it to get onto the volume. Make the mantle slightly easier, but then again a second difficult mantle, but it's a slabby wall, so I would be okay with it. But like this, maybe lower the right foothold on the volume, maybe skip the start in total and just start with a dual text so people can get into the boulder problem. But in general, boulder 2 and 3 must have been climbed by the setting team. So maybe temperatures, maybe last minute tweaks, maybe, I don't know. We'll never know, and unfortunately they looked so rubbish that I also don't really care about gathering any information about them. I will forget them after this report, and I think you should too. A bad comp happens, it happens to every setter. It can happen, but having 2 back-to-back World Cups in the same venue with a lot of similar setters on the team, as I've heard, but the repertoire, the holds were not that great. But the second World Cup being set this way, way worse than the first one, that's really odd. Let's put it like this. 4 tops out of potential 24 tops. We have a ranking, yes, but a good ranking looks differently, and an exciting competition, if it's not all up just for Sean Bailey, also looks way different in my opinion. My name is Nicky. Thank you for watching that round. I did not like this competition, and now let's move on to the female round. Stay climbed, keep parkour. See you soon.